we have a question.
Yeah, we do have a question. So how do you distinguish a bad relationship from communication issues or personal growth that has more to do with you than them?
I don't know how to answer that.
How do you distinguish a bad relationship from communication issues? Or maybe are you talking about personal growth that you have to do personally? That you feel like you need to do and that your communication issues are based around that, or that they're the ones that are having the communication issue?
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I would say that there are no bad relationships. There are just people who have stopped growing together. There are people who have stopped or who maybe never had a good communication. Is the same person writing more?
Yes, she said, yeah, versus blaming it on a bad relationship. So it might just be communication issues.
First of all, blame is not a good thing.
Yeah,
So
that's ordinary.
it's ordinary. Yeah. If you're having a reflection from somebody that it's not working or your communication is off, there's no reason to blame you. You have to look in the mirror and go, where am I falling short in communication here? Or where is my partner not able to hear me? Mm. That's just like when people say, my partner didn't tell me the truth. Well, if your partner didn't tell you the truth, were you a space for hearing the truth? Mm. Yeah. Like who's responsible here? I feel like relationships, they call relationships the highest form of yoga. Some people do, because in relationships, we're forced to take a look at ourselves and see what our shortcomings are. We want someone to love us. We like, oh my God, I'm loved. I'm so loved. And then it's like, oh God, I hate this. I hate the way we're communicating. I hate the way we're not getting along, whatever. I have to look at my own shortcomings. What can't I be with? And did I vet my partner to find out if we had the same values?
Right. Yeah. And then the other question is, what kind of personal growth have you done? And, where are you using the tools? So a lot of times we go to these personal growth programs and then we don't use the tools. And so maybe that's something to go back to and reassess those tools and go, okay, what do I need to do to actually really utilize this information, these tools that I have in relationship? One of the biggest things that I find that happens, and I'm going to ask this question of you, do you feel like maybe there's resentment between you two? Or maybe, it's not a bad relationship, but you just feel like you guys resent each other. Maybe you're resistant of each other now.
Usually that comes from not being able to speak your truth.
Exactly.
And who isn't speaking their truth? Like, if I can't speak my truth, who's keeping me from speaking my truth? Mm-hmm. Me. Are you safe enough for me to speak my truth? Actually, I'm going to speak my truth anyway.
Yeah.
And I'm going to find a way to say it. So I'm not holding anything back.
Yeah. That's an important part, but there are ways to do it that we feel actually can lead back to love. Well, so this is the part I think Laurie and I really do have some unique perspective on, and that is returning to love when you feel like you're in a bad, hard situation. Like, this is a bad relationship now. I don't like this. This is not the way I want it to be. Well, how do you return to love? And that's really about a lot of what our work is about.
Yeah.
How to do that.
In the Sex and Happiness program, we teach people how to be who they said they really were on their dating profile.
On their first date.
No, but on their dating profile. I'm this, I'm into this, I'm so this, I'm liberated, and I'm well thought, and I'm, whatever you write on your dating profile, then how are you going to actually be that? Like, all the time? How are you going to be who you said you were going to be? And not get stuck, we call it arrested development. Like, right. People become teenagers in relationships. Like, they act like they're teens.
They stop having adult conversations.
Yeah, they argue with each other.
They argue all the time.
So that's what we say in Sex and Happiness. Then in Extraordinary Lovers, when we teach people to be extraordinary lovers, we teach people what extraordinary is versus what ordinary is. And, like what you see in Hollywood movies or what your parents were probably is very ordinary. Mm-hmm. Like, they probably didn't know how to communicate enough and return to love enough to not fight. So we do that. So we teach that, and then we also do coaching.
Yeah.
We have a lot of couples that we coach because they either stop having sex, and then there's a problem.
Or there's a problem and they stop having sex.
Yeah, like that. Which came first, the chicken or the egg?
Yeah.
Did you stop having sex because you stopped wanting to communicate? Did the communication break down? Or did you keep having sex, but you have make-up sex because you're fighting all the time? I mean, whatever. That's all ordinary stuff.
Yeah.
So I hope we answered your question.
Yeah, it sounds
We
like
went on a couple of tangents.
It sounds like we did. She said, "Thank you for asking."
Yeah.
Any other questions that anybody has, please do just drop it in the chat, and we'll do our best to answer that for you.